The Skinner Auto Group in Richfield Springs and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to our Facebook friend Paula Wheel, who's hot on our heels with her MV Living travel journal.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today we are continuing along the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway, and we have found that not only is it scenic as we drive along, but there are all kinds of scenic places to stop, including places to picnic. So stay tuned and find out where they are.
So proud to call it my home. Oh, it's not what you take for give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley my home.
Enjoy South American or Central European music this afternoon. There's a marimba concert featuring Peter Keeler at the New Hartford Library at 2 o'clock. Or a polka dance featuring the Rymanowski Brothers Polka Band from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Rose Lawn Restaurant in New York Mills. It's time for the Skinner Auto Group road trip. We stop into Skinner Auto in Richfield Springs, where the guys are ready to take you on a tour of their spring crop of new vehicles. This week, we continue our tour of the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway. So far, we've traveled up the west and eastern spurs. Today, we're going to travel up and around the bend. But before we do, we're taking a 1.5-mile detour west on Spencer Street to a hidden picnic spot. On your left, you'll find a parking area for Fayetteville Falls Park. It is named for John Fayetteville, a Revolutionary War soldier and early settler of the town. There is a footbridge that crosses high above Ransom Creek. At the bottom of the falls, there are remnants of stone walls that may have been part of his log home site along the creek.
We were here 6 years ago, but we couldn't make it down because of the icy conditions. Well, today we were able to follow the trail down to this picnic area. If you like picnics, bring your family here because it's hard to describe. It's down between these two hills, moss-covered trees, a creek, a bridge. It's everything that a perfect old-fashioned picnic place should be. If you come here with your children or your grandchildren and you're a little bit older, shall I say, there's a trail that winds its way down through here. It's very gradual, and the walk itself is just, it's stunning.
Stay tuned for more of our trip along the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway after the break. Watch Mohawk Valley Living every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 11:35 p.m. on WKTV. And check out what's new on MohawkValleyLiving.com. Back in 1945, Skinner Auto began as a small dealership on the corner of routes 20 and 28 in Richfield Springs. Today, Hiram Skinner is proud to have his son Roger at the helm, continuing the tradition of service to the customer and the community. In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building 'em like they used to. Chester's greenhouses are bursting with color. You'll find great buys on annuals, perennials, and vegetable plants. Don't wait for Mother Nature. You can have spring today with the beautiful colors and fragrances of flowers and plants from Chester's Greenhouses, York Street in Utica. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. You'll find treasure around every corner at Cobbler & Company. 12 rooms filled with eclectic gifts for your friends and family, home and garden. Cobbler & Company in historic downtown Sharon Springs.
I'm gonna dirty my fingers, paint my toes, stay up all night and watch the lights.
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible. We're back on the scenic byway, heading north from Dolgeville along the East Canada Creek. If you're looking to do some fishing, hiking, or kayaking, there's a sporting goods store that opened this new location on Route 29 just last week. Be sure to ask shop owner Robert Pierce for local fishing hotspots when you're picking up your bait.
No weight in my wallet, no weight in my stash box. Just weight on these shoulders, but ain't gonna let it bring me down. There's weight on my spirit and there's weight on my mind. But the devil's gonna have to wait for this soul of mine a hell of a long time.
We head further north to the town of Salisbury and Salisbury Center, to the historic 1805 Frisbee House, home to the Salisbury Historical Society. Augustus Frisbee, like many of the early settlers, took advantage of the fast-moving water in the area. He pioneered water-powered industry in Salisbury, establishing the first textile mill on the banks of Spruce Creek. Salisbury Center became a hub for local trade and industry.
Salisbury was a very active town industrially. There were a total of about 9 mills on the creek, some of them around the Covered Bridge area, some of them west of here. There was a gun-making factory, there was sawmills, there was a grist mill, a peg mill where they made pegs large enough to build buildings with and small enough to make shoes with. The iron mines were about a century later than the other mills, and they were here around the early 1900s. Sadly, the man who was the manager of the mines, whose name was Switzer, died suddenly. They closed the mines and never reopened them. We have one of the last covered bridges in this area. It was one of 7 that were in the town. The Grange was responsible for restoring it originally, and then since then the town has restored it again. It was built in 1875 by a man by the name of Hobson. The bridge was built on his lawn and then moved to the site.
Save the date for the annual Covered Bridge celebration in Salisbury Center on Friday and Saturday, June 1st and 2nd. Local historic sites will be open for tours, and there will be rides for the kids and lots of good food. Save the date for the Covered Bridge celebration in Salisbury Center. Many people take their town's history and historical sites for granted. But people in Salisbury know they have Sue and her late husband Richard Jory to thank for much of the work, including the beautifully restored Grange Hall building.
Well, this was the Grange, and farmers in that day, that period, they had no way to really socialize. They were all spread out, so they started the Grange. And one of the main reasons was not the socializing as much as trying to get insurance for the farmers and to pass legislation that would help farmers. So they would come here, they had their meetings, they'd bring their children. I think at one time we had 400 members.
You can tour and learn more about the historic Salisbury Center Grange Hall during the Covered Bridge celebration on June 1st and 2nd.
We had so much more to share, and when you get to heaven where the angels sing, God will grant you peace, you've earned your wings. Sing a song for me and let your banjo ring when you get to heaven where the angels sing.
Just off Route 29 on Fairview Road is another gorgeous picnic spot. This is the site of the historic Salisbury Center Covered Bridge. It is the only historic covered bridge in Herkimer County and one of only 29 in New York State.
If you are a fan of covered bridges, jump in your car, head down here to Salisbury Center, because there's one here that is 135 years old. And on top of that, you can have a picnic, because along this beautiful creek, Spruce Creek, there are picnic tables scattered all around the place. The bridge is a king post with an arch, and there's a sign above it that says you can go no faster than a walk. If you do, you're going to be fined $1. Stupid me, I thought that meant people. What it means is horses. If you took your horse and the carriage over too fast, you were fined $1. Yeah, there's a lot of money back in those days.
The day that I met her, she was teaching her dog to stay. It was a big Irish setter. I reached out to pet her, it bit me and then walked away. She cleaned my aching wounds, and then she bandaged up my heart. And me and Loretta, I'll never forget her, but now she's gone away.
We continue our journey heading west on Route 29. We pass a familiar site at the Salisbury Rural Cemetery. The gleaming Yale Monument is dedicated to 10 generations of the Yale family, with figures depicting the various professions each of them pursued.
A long country road, when I saw a man come through the fog on horseback, it must have been Wash Loomis's gold.
We continue along Route 29 until an antique sign takes us on a detour up Military Road. This is the story of Carol and Ray Piazza and a hobby gone wild. Here you'll find an extensive collection of fascinating calendar clocks, beautifully carved walnut, oak, and cherry furniture, depression glass, lamps, and Persian rugs. Take a journey to Journey's End Antiques and Collectibles on Military Road.
What they say, he's searching for Filkins and his posse of men who ended his life that day.
Back on the corner of Route 29 and Military Road is Carol's Antiques and Collectibles. Here you'll find everything from glassware to vintage clothing. You can spend some time here digging for treasure.
One man named Filkins was constable. He vowed to stop this ring of thieves, but the Loomises gave money and threats to those.
It's time for a lunch break, and we hear the country store is a popular spot. Here you can shop for supplies or enjoy good old-fashioned comfort food. Select a salad, or if you're really hungry, their famous colossal calzone. Believe it or not, this is someone's idea of retirement.
Briefly, we were looking for a place halfway between our two families, one in Rochester, New York, and one in New Hampshire, and this pretty much fit the bill. We bought a house here, and we knew we still needed to work, so we came to run a cute little country store. We got into a little more than we bargained for. We do almost everything here. In fact, we call ourselves the Walmart of the Northland. If we don't have it, you don't need it. We do, we have a dining room, we do food service, we do eat-in or takeout. We just added a full-service bar. We have a gift shop, we have fuel,
A deli.
we have a deli, we have an ice cream shop, we have an apartment for rent. We have pretty much a little bit of everything here.
And your restaurant, tell us when it's open. It's like every day.
Yes, we're open 7 days a week for 3 meals a day, 364 days a year.
So you take it easy one day a year.
Yes, we do take a little break one day a year. We have a lot of local people that we see a lot of regulars on a daily basis, which we love. We get to know everybody intimately. And then coming into like the summer season, we'll have people from downstate that come up to their camps, and so we look forward to them coming back every summer. The winter time, we get the snowmobilers coming up, and So we have different groups of people, and we love having them all.
So how's retirement?
Yeah. Retirement is non-existent pretty much, but we love what we're doing, and we try to have a good time every day.
Come here to the country store and tavern, because everybody in town usually will be here for lunch or breakfast or dinner as well. Yep. Dinner too. And the food here is served family style, and when I say that, I mean it. It is country cooking, and for classic car owners and motorcyclists, this is the place to come because they have ethanol-free gas.
It's the feeling I get when I look around. It lets me know I'm home. I'm making this family.
Be sure to join us again next week for more adventures along the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway.
In my home. Oh, it's not what you take or give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley my home.
The automobile has gone through many changes through the years, but the Turnbull family's commitment to local drivers has not. Researching and selecting the best coverage for you with unparalleled service, claims handling, and settlement. Turn to a local company with 4 generations of knowledge and experience. Turn to Turnbull.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospitals on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment, and you're only available on the weekend. Sure, I have an appointment Sunday with Dr. Karen. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Taste the homemade difference at Maria's Pasta Shop. Homemade lasagna, manigot, stuffed shells, ravioli, and more. Ready-made dinners, make it home, and party trays at Maria's Pasta Shop, Oneida Street in Utica. When you shop Meelan's Market, you'll be the grill master. That's because every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. Find everything for your next cookout, from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh, at Meelan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories for distinctive gifts. For the whimsical. For the bride. For American made. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories, West Park Row in Clinton. The dessert booth is now open for dinner on Friday nights. Enjoy vegetarian seafood or the popular tapas, something for every taste and budget, at the dessert booth in Clinton. Visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the Shops at 25 West for an ever-changing selection of antiques and collectibles from over a dozen antique dealers. Upstairs at the shops, find over 30 more vendors like Gaia's Garden for altered clothing and paper products by some extremely creative women. And We Wear Vintage, vintage clothing and accessories for those who like to dress up. There's also Jake's Bakes, handmade wheat-free treats for your dog. Visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the Shops at 25 West on your next visit to beautiful Canal Place in Little Falls. Spring color is peeking through at the Village Crossing. It's a great time for sales on winter clearance items, making way for new spring fashions arriving daily at the Village Crossing in Clinton. The Weekly Adirondack, newspaper of the Old Forge Inlet area, presents Adirondack Journal.
Good morning. I'm Gary Van Riper. Welcome to Adirondack Journal. A lot of people have really liked the hikes that we've been going on the last few weeks, and we want to take you on another one. Today we're at the Rondacks Trailhead for Bald Mountain. It's located just off Route 28 between Old Forge and Eagle Bay, and we took the Rondacks Road to get up here. I checked the regional map, and unlike Bald Mountain, which is kind of a steep climb, this hike into the pond should be quite level. You remember in the trail description that it calls the trail level? Understand this is a level trail in the Adirondacks.
Just trying to find my way. Now I'm here for you, so they say in my school, to be kind and assert and protect.
It took us about 15 minutes to get to Fly Pond, and if we continued on the Blue Trail, we would have come to Carey Mountain Pond, and according to the map, it looks like the old bed of the Racket Lake Railway, which is really cool because the railway actually went from New York City all the way to a hotel at Racket Lake many years ago. If you want to make a longer hike out of this, what hikers call mission creep, you can actually continue on that blue trail and you go all the way to Bub and Sis Lake, and then there's a break there and you could actually go all the way to Moss Lake. It might seem like overkill to carry a map along with you on a hike like this, just a short hike, but really it's not. I mean, it's safe, but also kids love maps. And when you can stop and show them where they are, and we found the railway bed by looking at the map. Actually, Rondak's Road is on the other side of this pond. You see a road off in the distance and you can orient yourself. It's just a lot of fun. So as you're getting ready for your next hike here in the Adirondacks, make sure that you pack your snacks and some water, maybe a little first aid kit, and don't forget a map, and add another page to your own Adirondack Journal.
The Trenton Gorge was carved out over eons by the mighty West Canada Creek, known to the Native Americans as Koyahora, the Leaping Waters. The West Canada drops over 300 feet in a series of spectacular waterfalls and was in its day a more popular tourist destination than Niagara Falls.
Back in the golden era of Trenton Falls, people would come here from all over the country, and people came from all over the world because it really was something like the eighth wonder of the world. When you come here, take a look and in your mind realize and imagine that the water coming down through here went over that entire gorge. It was like Niagara Falls in our backyard. It's amazing to consider that that was all water before it was diverted. It was often used for magazine covers and for photo shoots. Bring your camera here and make yourself a part of this beautiful backdrop.
Well, when they settled the village of Barneville, they cut paths to the falls and then they put ladders down so that they could get right down on the creek. And Napoleon's brother came, Joseph, and he was so impressed with the falls that he gave them money to make the trails better and to have the fences, you know, the ladders and things done better. The Reverend John Sherman came to Barneville to be the minister for the Unitarian Church and fell in love with Trenton Falls, and eventually he and a partner bought 40 acres over here and started naming the falls and built what they called the rural resort where they lived, the Sherman family lived. They had some guests come from New York City, and the man said to them, "Why don't you make a bigger building so that people can stay here overnight?" And Reverend Sherman said, "Did you ever know a minister who had any money?" So they gave him $5,000 and he built what was known as the Rural Resort, which was one corner of the original huge hotel. Well, this was very early. This was 1820 when Reverend Sherman was here, because he died in 1828. So probably his son-in-law came, ran the Rural Resort for a while, but then more and more people came. So in about the 1850s, he built a huge hotel, which had about 100 rooms. And it was the hotel of the era. People who came from Europe, if they took the northern tour, they came to Trenton Falls. This was the place to come.
One of the notables who came here was William Seward, who was Secretary of State for President Lincoln. And in the hotel right over there, they met with diplomats from European nations and South American nations in an attempt to convince them not to support the Confederacy, all of which led to an earlier end to the war. All that remains of the majestic hotel is this, which is a pedestal upon which there was a telescope. Mr. Moore was a very wealthy gentleman from New York City, and he set the rate for the hotel. It was $6 for 2 nights. You have to remember that back then in the mid-1800s, people were earning only $1 to $2 a week.
See the birds flying south, watch the leaves falling out, down the river no return.
When you come here to see the natural wonders of the falls, take a walk around the trails to also be a part of the history here. I'm standing in front of a little cemetery plot. The Reverend John Sherman is buried here. He was very instrumental back in the days of the development of this area. And he wanted to be buried where he could hear the falls, his falls, for all eternity. The Reverend John Sherman is a direct descendant of Roger Sherman, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence.
The Trenton Falls Scenic Trail is open only once this spring of 2012, Saturday and Sunday, April 28th and 29th. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner Auto. Check out this 2010 Dodge Journey SXT. Only 29,000 miles and factory certified 100,000-mile warranty. Only $15,995. Stop into Skinner Auto to check out what's hot on the lot. Discover affordable original works of art by dozens of talented local artists at the Artisan's Corner. Find handcrafted tinware, custom lampshades, pottery, jewelry, candles, soaps, and more. All local and all at the Artisan's Corner in Clinton. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Enjoy a delicious pot of fine flavored varietal and herbal teas at the Tea Bar at Trenton Teas, or arrange an afternoon tea in the tea room. Visit TrentonTeas.com to learn about upcoming events or to arrange your own event at Trenton Teas on Elizabeth Street in Utica. The Longaretta Law Firm, protecting your rights and advising you in matters of legal importance. Call for your free consultation, 735-6162. Make any day a special day and a special day even better with fresh-baked pastries and cookies from Cafe Caruso on Bleecker Street in East Utica. Stop in or call ahead for special orders. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. If you're a nature lover looking for some elbow room, check out this beautiful Tug Hill property north of Camden. Over 200 acres of fields, woods, snowmobile trails, ponds, and streams, and even a 2,200-foot airstrip for visiting pilots. Call 525-5578. Savor the flavor of authentic Southeast Asian cuisine at the Lotus Garden Noodle and Sushi House. The Pooh family welcomes you to lunch or dinner at the Lotus Garden, 339 Bleecker Street in downtown Utica. If you're in a collision, you need precision. Call your insurance company first and then choose Precision Unlimited, providing expert auto body collision repair since 1987 on Route 5 in Clinton. Visit MohawkValleyLiving.com for original articles by local musician John Keller, including an interview with Bob Fleming of the Mossback Mule Band.
We hope that you enjoyed today's show. I know that I found a few new picnic places to take my grandchildren to. Next week we're going to continue again from Middleville, which is very close to my heart because my sister-in-law is from there. And when she first met my brother and I asked where Middleville was, she said it was somewhere between Upperville and Lowerville. Haha. So in any event, be sure to tune in next week. And between now and then, enjoy Mohawk Valley living.
Got a head like a beam. He steers a T-bird like you never seen. Picks up the young